She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast.
Damn good coffee. And hot. Would everyone please take a seat?
Welcome everybody to episode 15 of the Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Brad.
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Claire.
Yay, Claire!
Hey, Claire's here.
Oh, I've got applause, thank you.
Yes, Claire's finally here.
Yes.
Who's going to send us email today, I want to know.
I did actually go, oh, shall I do an email as well?
And then you could read it yourself.
Yeah.
Cool, we're glad to finally have you here. But,
Yes, I'm very glad to be here, thank
but a
you.
different podcast had you first, and I'm mad.
I told you it was the warm-up act. Sorry.
The Fisher cast. No,
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, it was great.
I'm not really mad.
He totally is.
He's so angry right now.
There's steam coming out of
I
his
can
ears.
hear the rage.
Okay, what do you got for this episode, Brad?
This is season 2, episode 7, Lonely Souls. Laura Palmer's killer is revealed with vital help from the one-armed man. Not really.
Good, really.
Okay.
They try.
So anything you guys want to say before we get into it?
Alright, let me say this. When I saw this description come up before I watched the episode, I almost sent in an email because I was like, okay, I want to get my final predictions. But then I thought, these episode descriptions can often be wrong.
Yeah, it's not really revealed.
It's still not.
You're given
To
two
the
options.
audience.
It's still not conclusive.
You're given two options in this episode.
Did you guys watch the Log Lady intro for this episode?
I did.
I did.
It has a little reference to later on in the episode, so I thought that was quite cool.
You'll have to bring it up when we get there.
I will make a note.
What do you think, Caitlin? What did you think of this one? Were you surprised?
No, actually, some of our discussion in the last episode kind of was leading up to what happened in this episode. It was really shocking to see some of it, but wasn't actually surprising per se.
Okay. When did you guys watch it? I know we were gone for a while, so did you wait a while and then watch it? Or?
Yeah, I didn't watch it till just last Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And I waited till I saw Caitlin had watched it, and then I was like, okay, well, I have to watch it now.
Okay.
You guys stayed strong for a long time.
Okay, let's get into it then. Okay, we start out and we've got all the officers of the law and Mike drinking coffee together.
I'm glad to see they let Hawk join in on their fun there.
Before they
Yeah.
sent him out on another errand.
They're like, wait a minute, you don't belong here.
Can I finish my
think he
coffee
got-
first?
Yeah, he got a bit mardy with Harry, which I thought was great. He's like, dude, seriously? I've done all your work. Can I just drink my coffee and then I will go and do some more work? One cup of coffee, please.
But again, we have this thing where they have to make it the next day. And why they didn't go to the hotel that night, I don't understand.
They ran out of time for the episode, so they all realized they had to go to sleep.
That's why
Does every
Gerard has
episode-
to repeat his little, descriptions in case they forgot from the night before,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, do we have to have every episode be a new day? Because I feel like Gerard has been saying like the same thing all night long, stuck on repeat.
Yeah.
Probably has.
We'll get to it, Gerard.
He's quite weary, so he probably has.
He's probably still not on his medication either, so.
But then, Gordon Cole leaves, so that makes me sad.
Yeah.
And we didn't draw too much attention to this last time, but he's played by David Lynch. It was made in an offhand comment, but if anybody didn't know, Gordon Cole is played by David Lynch. and I think he does a good job. I think he should act more.
Yeah, he does a voice in the Cleveland show, right?
Yeah,
I haven't heard him in it, but I've heard that he.
Well,
does.
yeah, I've never even seen the show, but yeah, I've seen stills of his character, and it's basically him. It's like a caricature of him, and he's the bartender in the Cleveland show.
Really?
I don't know how he got involved with that.
That is
Strange.
yikes.
But I refuse to watch that show, even if he's in it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Cole leaves really suddenly. He's sort of drinking his coffee, and then he's like, "Okay, bye." It's just a bit strange.
Yeah.
Well, he's the regional chief of the FBI.
But he stayed there all night,
Yeah, that's true.
and it's like he hung around all night just to drink coffee in the morning, and then
Right.
no. So it just seems a bit strange.
I get a little freaked out because I was watching that and I thought at first that he didn't shake Hawk's hand, but instead I realized he shaked Hawk's hand first. I just missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
I really like the cut from the waterfall to the little waterfall clock in the Great Northern.
Yeah, that was clever.
Yeah, it's very cool.
In the Great Northern, they're putting Mike through the gauntlet.
Or Mike.
No,
Why are there so many ball bouncing sailors in the Great Northern?
I don't know.
What's
Anybody
going
got
on?
a theory on that? Like what they're doing?
I don't know. Later they're in the roadhouse.
The ball bouncing guys are in their own
ball bouncing
roadies?
sailor?
Sure, it's the ball bouncing sailors, but they're not bouncing their ball. They're just listening to Julie Cruz, but I'm sure it's the same people.
Yeah, I think so.
It looks like they're rehearsing like some like wacky USO stop number or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just another instance of. I think it was Michael Warren who said that the directors were trying to one-up each other on stuff to put in the background. So I think David Lynch wins. David Lynch wins.
Of course.
It is creepy.
Even after Mike falls on the floor, there's still one guy bouncing his ball.
I like that they even ask Gerard if it's Tojimura. Him?
No.
No.
So Ben comes in and Mike falls. I know at the end of it, this is like disconfirmation of that meaning anything, but at that point, were you guys connecting Mike falling with Ben?
Yeah, I got kind of suspicious when they were showing the shot of Ben walking down the hall, because they wouldn't do it for no reason at all, and it had to be related to what they're doing with Mike.
And the music's quite ominous as well.
Yeah, the music is really intense this episode.
Yes.
My thing was like I went into this and immediately it was narrowing it down to Ben and Leland for me in this episode, and I so desperately didn't want it to be Ben.
Why not?
Because I don't know, it makes me happier if it's Leland.
Yeah, it would.
There's just so much more, and Ben has been set up as a villain for too long.
Yeah, it'd be too easy. Yeah, but apparently he was a strong contender for the killer. Like at a certain point, they still didn't know who it was going to be. Apparently, and they actually did film all those scenes with Maddie, with Ben as well. So there is footage of Ben killing Maddie as well, but it's never been seen apparently. So there was two possible endings to this episode.
I don't think they ever seriously intended for Ben to be the killer. They may have shot it just to keep people from, spoiling it, but
that's probably the reason. Yes. What's next?
Harold Smith is dead.
And Harold's theme is playing, which makes me happy.
Yes.
Even though it's a bit of a little sad, melancholy version.
You're not happy with that?
I'm not happy. I feel like it's a complete waste. We had this whole Harold Smith plot and this interesting character. We didn't do that much with it, and now Dunzo.
Well, even Donna said that it was a complete waste.
I think you actually even said in one of the episodes, Brad, you said something like, if it's being set up and we never see him again, I'm going to be so pissed. And I was like,
There was so much time invested into that, and it wasn't good.
We got to see the Hawkmobile, as I call it. Hawk driving to Harold Smith's. The Hawkmobile.
The headlights on the front, I assume all the lights are supposed to be flashing when the sirens are on, but you can only see the right one flashing, or the left one from the car's perspective. The other one was burnt out.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Hawk has no budget.
Yeah.
Well, Hawk's light gets a lot of work.
Yeah. So yeah, Harold hung himself.
He basically ransacked his place before he did it, though.
He threw a fit and then he hung himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he went Teen Wolf. He wolfed out.
Yeah.
This is completely kind of off topic, but I just want to mention it. When we were on vacation, we saw a flower shop called Orchids.
Mm.
I didn't take a picture of it though, but it kind of looked like Harold could have lived there.
I was scared to go in because I didn't want to meet Harold.
Anyways, it was off topic, but whatever.
So now we get a scene, little touching scene. Palmer's say goodbye to Maddie.
I like how it opens on the painting of a deer, and it says Missoula, Montana.
Where Maddie's from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have
there's a bunch of ceramic
so many
figures.
things. I have so many things about this scene.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I'm a bit obsessed with that screen, as you know, the screen next to Leland. But I noticed with what's behind it, although we do find out what's behind it later in this episode, and I'm still convinced there's a tunnel to the Great Northern or something. But what in this scene? Why do the Palmers have a tree in front of that screen? It looks like they've gone outside and literally ripped a giant branch off one of the trees that we see blowing in the wind and stuck it in front of the screen. Why?
Oh, that's weird.
It's weird. There's a plant in front of it, and it's literally like a giant branch.
I didn't notice.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird. It's weird. And I also think it makes me laugh every time. I was talking to Michael Warren about this the other night, actually. It makes me laugh every time that Maddie says something like, "I've had a really great time. I really enjoyed my stay." And you're like, really? Really? Should we review what's happened? You know, you've seen your uncle have a nervous breakdown, and you've had crazy hallucinations of people in the floor, and you've caused a man to have a heart attack, and you've breaking and entering.
Some guy attacked you with a garden implement.
Yeah. You recorded a crappy single.
And let's not forget the funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a funeral. Well, also her saying to them, you know, I've really enjoyed my stay, just after they've buried their daughter, and that was the reason you were there, is sort of inappropriate.
Yeah. This was a blast, guys.
Let's do this again.
Who leaves their job and apartment for 3 weeks?
Was it 3 weeks, really?
Well, probably
gotta be getting there.
Probably close to that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what is this, episode 15? And it's day by day.
Well, she didn't come in at episode 1 either, so...
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little under 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
It's still
the fact that
time.
They're surprised that she's leaving so soon.
She took her vacation time just for you guys.
Yeah.
You mean you're not going to stay here forever?
I just find it so weird that they've got that gigantic living room, and it's huge, and then they've got like that little sofa tucked away in the corner.
Yeah.
And then that screen, and then behind the screen is the TV. So when they watch TV, they sort of must all scrunch up on that tiny sofa in the corner. It's just weird. It's just bad interior designing. I'm sorry.
Well, with that, along with the piece of a tree in there, you know, nobody ever said the Palmers were sane.
It's true.
I really like this scene though. It's really well shot. Like you can really feel David Lynch's hand in this. It's just, it feels like a movie, this episode. I find it.
I like that you have the photo of Laura in the foreground, which is a really nice, it's always present, and it's in all the scenes later as well in the Palmer household, which I like, and it's like a constant little reminder.
That record player also connects it to the later scene. That's very big focal point.
That record player is creepy.
Tell me about it. It's not creepy in this shot though. It's pretty nice. They have a nice song going and all that stuff.
Just the way the whole way it's shot with the record player, the way it's like peering behind, just makes it creepy to me.
What did you guys think about Leland's reaction to when Maddie says she's leaving? Have you watched the episode since, like, you watched this one the first time, and did you notice anything in that reaction?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I found he looked understanding, and he did if he was thinking nefarious thoughts, he certainly was okay hiding them.
I thought it was interesting that he was much more calm about it than Sarah was. Like this episode, she's going off the deep end again.
Yeah, she seems more real though. It almost seems like a pseudo calm, like he's putting on a front. And amazingly, when they both grab her hands, the coffee cup on her lap, she manages to balance it very well without spilling a drop.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't noticed that.
So then we go on to Suicide Note and Finding the Diary.
I found it kind of cut abruptly from that scene. Like, it was almost like the scene wasn't over, and then they just cut abruptly to like a log truck driving by Harold's house.
Mm.
I think they do that a lot with log trucks.
Yeah.
I like that Harry isn't helping at all. He's just standing there watching the others do all the work, as always. He could be helping them get Harold down, or he could be helping Hawk look through the evidence, but he's just standing there doing nothing.
He's helping by figuring things out.
He's supervising. That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
That's right.
A wet blanket.
So we get the j'ai un homme solitaire.
Do you want me to say that?
Yes,
I'm a French
please.
person.
Please say it.
J'ai une âme solitaire. Although they always say it really badly, so that you can't really understand what they're saying.
Does everybody remember where that's from?
Little creepo witch kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was on his suicide note. How'd that witch kid know?
He was a magician.
Yeah, that's true.
Or he's studying to be a magician.
I love that we get the camera flashes. We get the weird flashes again, which we've had a few times now.
Yeah, David, he uses that kind of, weird lighting a lot, like strobe lighting and things like that. He seems to like that effect it gives.
So the diary's been ripped up, and that's about it for that scene.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Oh no.
I always have to keep it on Netflix, and just go forward in the scenes as we're talking. And I'm watching this. Hawk has gloves on. No one else seems to have gloves. Harry just touched.
He's a professional.
Yeah, Hawk's got gloves. Oh, Cooper has gloves.
Yeah.
Harry is holding the diary, no gloves. Good
and we
job.
also know that Harry doesn't wash his hands when he goes to the toilet, so...
Right?
Ew.
Hate him.
It keeps getting worse and worse. I never noticed how bad he was the first time through.
Has he beaten James for the worst award yet?
No.
He's got a long way to fall yet.
I don't think anybody can beat James.
Yeah.
Oh, James.
Oh, James.
Oh, we do get an Oh, James this episode.
Do we?
Maybe not an Oh, James, it's just a James.
Yeah.
We haven't had one for a while.
But she thinks it every day.
Don't we all?
Alright, so we move on to Leo is gross.
I love how he's just got the dribble of oatmeal just dripping down.
He's gross, but you can't pay the bills without him. So what'd you guys think of this scene?
I like the little sad-looking deflated balloons on the table from when they had their little party, to welcome him back. And I'm assuming they didn't deflate in the day since that happened. So maybe they just weren't in the party mood after that, and they just popped them and left them on the table.
What'd you guys think? Was Bobby trying to squirm his way out of the situation he's been in here? He got stuck in.
The whole plan still, I still don't understand. Can't they still just institutionalize him or say, hey, we couldn't handle this? Because I don't see how this is working out for them at all.
Well, it's not really going to be any better, I don't think, if they get rid of him. I don't think she can pay for the house and everything on her diner salary.
Yeah, it wasn't a well thought out plan.
No. But do you guys see Bobby? You think he's trying to get out of it? He mentioned school for the first time in weeks.
Yeah, I think he's actually really immature. He has no idea of a budget even. He's like, $42, that's a good start. Really, Bobby?
He probably lives on that with his allowance.
Yeah. My dad gives me half that every week.
This is a bad situation, and I just don't see it getting better.
They assume Leo must hide his money somewhere.
Which is good thinking.
Yeah.
Because I've been wondering from the beginning how they have a house with no walls, yet Leo's involved with everything.
Yeah, he must have his money somewhere, if not in his bank.
Shelley must have been completely oblivious to what Leo did in his spare time. Because she's like, what money? Look at where we're living, basically.
She was too dazzled by his car.
Yeah. She knew he dealt drugs, didn't she?
No, I don't think she did. I don't think she knew anything, because she doesn't even know that Bobby's involved. She doesn't even realize.
Yeah, I think Leo was rarely ever home, and when he was just bullying her, so...
Yeah.
And that's the first time that Leo says his catchphrase of this episode, too. I'm pretty sure, which I won't say.
That was quite the turn of events. I really enjoyed that.
That's pretty
when he
fun.
started screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The move that Bobby makes when he jumps up, hands up in the T-Rex position. It's amazing.
So do you, so Brad and Caitlin, do you guys think that Leo is faking his condition at all?
No, I don't think so.
He seems to show some instances of being a bit more aware and lucid.
I don't think so. I feel like I don't think he would have the patience to hold back.
Yeah.
All right, then we get Audrey and Ben talking about One-Eyed Jacks.
Yes! First of all, most awkward father-daughter conversation ever.
Yes.
Know that about their dad.
Audrey's being a bit more sassy now, which is great.
Yes.
Now that she's back from One-Eyed Jacks.
Audrey is back.
It's good to see. But
I've literally, just for the scene, just written, awkward.
it seems he's being honest for the first time, but only now that he's been cornered, you know. He's got nowhere to run.
Yeah.
And he confirms he slept with Laura as well.
Yes. And he loved her. Everyone loved Laura. What has she got? She's got some sort of power.
So if he said he loved her, does that mean he didn't kill her? He didn't say he didn't kill her. He just said I love her.
No.
He went out of his way to not say he didn't kill her at that.
Yeah.
It's true.
I feel like you should be I know we're just setting this up so that we, think that he might be the killer, but really, if someone accuses you of murdering, I think you might want to deny that a little stronger.
Love is the opposite of murder.
For some people.
I was going to quote Oscar Wilde, but now it failed me.
Aww.
What is the Ballad of Reading Jail? For all men must kill the thing they love.
Nicely done.
I tried.
Anything else there?
I kind of wonder if it's the shame that he feels when Audrey confronts him and tells him that she was the girl in the white mask. If that's the reason why he reveals all and feels that he needs to come clean.
That's probably a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, he has nowhere to run, even if he wants to, because she knows everything.
He could go for a sandwich.
Yeah.
You could.
Oh, the best line in the episode.
Sandwich first and we'll deal with it after.
He was going to go through the secret passage to the Palmer house and make a sandwich.
So what happens next?
Oh wait, sorry, I just found it. Yet each man kills the thing he loves. By each let this be heard. Some do it with a bitter look, some with a flattering word. The coward does it with a kiss, the brave man with a sword.
And there you go.
Solid. Some kill their love when they are young, and some when they are old. Some strangle with hands of lust, some with the hands of gold. The kindest use a knife, because the dead so soon grow cold.
Oh, geez.
Okay,
That's
enough.
That is morbid.
Yay.
But appropriate.
Yeah.
It's very appropriate.
So Shelley has to quit.
I love this scene.
Yeah.
Does she have to quit?
Well, she's supposed to be there full time to watch.
She's not now.
I know, that's why she's quitting. It's been a day or two and she can't. Probably Bobby's been there taking care of him while she's at work or something. But Bobby has.
Bobby's got economics now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
The thing is, they don't really care about Leo. They're just doing this for the money. I mean, as long as they can keep him up enough,
Just feed
that it doesn't
today.
appear that he's been neglected.
Oh.
And as broke as they are with $42, maybe cut back the hours and just be a little sneakier about it.
I think when David Lynch directs, he always gets really good performances out of Madchen Amick, plays Shelley, and I think she's really great in this episode. And I like the music in the scene as well. And it's I don't know what the particular track is called, but it's a mix or another version of the track that's called Shelley, which is on one of the CDs, which is a really nice piece of music. But I don't know what that particular version is called, but it's lovely.
It's one of my favorite pieces of music. Yeah, that one. Ed and Nadine come in.
Yay!
I have written down Brad's worst nightmare plus Matt's worst nightmare walks in because it's Nadine wearing shorts.
I didn't even notice.
She is!
Is it okay for ladies, Brad?
Yeah, I do give a pass to the ladies to wear shorts.
Oh. As soon as they walked in, I thought this is going to be the best scene ever.
Yeah.
Was it?
It was pretty close.
I thought it was good.
Poor Ed.
Yeah.
He just has this permanent look on his face of like shock and disgust.
And dread of what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
It just seems so uncomfortable.
I love that when she orders her drinks, I think she orders like 2 chocolate malts or something.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, coffee for me.
I feel like he's like following a bull charging through a china shop, and he's just following around with like a little dustbin.
Oh man, that's the funniest mental image.
Oh, you broke something else? Just one sec, hold up.
I'm so sorry. You just oh no Nadine, no. Ah.
All right. At this point, I want to read Michael Warren from the 35 Years of David Lynch blog he wrote. I went through his blog for this episode and took out a few little things. This one is about the, what would you call them, ancillary characters. David Lynch remains true to form and takes the time to give us complete pictures of the goings-on in the town. Although Leo, Shelley, Bobby, Norma, Hank, and Nadine can get short shrift in the episodes not directed by Lynch, here these characters feel less cartoony and more real. Their misadventures have a tendency to feel like distracting subplots in many of the episodes, but here the characters feel more alive and grounded in a stylistic reality that the show excels at best. I would say that's true. Whenever David Lynch directs an episode, I'm not as annoyed by all the other characters.
So you like Nadine in this episode then?
It was alright.
Go on, admit it.
You know what I really love in this scene is I love when Shelley comes over and is doing all she can to keep from openly mocking Nadine.
Yeah, she's not above openly mocking people.
No.
I love it.
Something else from the scene. I realized that there's something that we missed from like the first episode. We should have gone on Soup Watch because they have a different soup on the menu every day, and it's always the weirdest soups. And this time it's split pea and lamb, which I don't know. I don't know if that would be good.
Split pea and lamb. I don't know.
That probably would be fine.
I don't know if you guys will be disappointed, but I didn't notice any traffic light watch or crotch watch in this episode.
No.
That's
Yeah,
alright.
sorry.
Nadine's outfit is kind of red, green,
I was
and
looking at
yellowish.
Nadine's shorts. Oh yeah, it is.
You're so taken.
I passed on my duties to Brad. There we go.
So taken by the shorts, you didn't see the colors.
Yeah. And her pulled up socks as well.
Oh.
And the Oxford shoes. I was actually thinking that could be my costume for the Twin Peaks festival.
Want to move on?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Look who it is.
Yay!
Guys,
He's back!
Mike is back.
Woo! And he's so much smarter. Like, that economics class is paying off.
I gotta go educate myself and I'll be back.
When I was watching this episode the other night and I was kind of half asleep, and when they walked in, there's a photo next to the door, I think, in Leo's house, and for a second I thought it was a picture of Sam Elliott. And I was like, why is there a picture of Sam Elliott on the wall? I just thought it's some generic mustache man who looks vaguely like Sam Elliott. I was going to go, yes, Roadhouse!
So they bash in the shoes. They find a tape. What do you guys think's on the tape?
Secrets.
Obviously.
Sometimes.
I think he's trying to blackmail someone, but I have no idea what.
So,
That's only a half-baked theory.
if you have a secret tape in your shoe, why do you send the shoes to be repaired?
Maybe the guy at the shoe shop put the tape in the shoe.
Oh, maybe they're...
Yeah, that's what I was
Smuggling
thinking.
tapes in shoes. I don't know why.
So you're suggesting that the guy in the shoe shop has a hand in the drug dealings?
Maybe.
Wait. Okay, here's what's going on.
Oh.
Leo makes a sexciting audio tape that he gives to his friend at the shoe store. The guy at the shoe store listens to the tape and then makes his own sexciting tape, puts it in the shoe, gets it back. For those long nights out on the road.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's perfect.
That seems a very long, convoluted way of doing it, but yeah.
Works.
They didn't have Skype.
No.
Oh, they didn't.
Whatever floats Leo's boat, right?
They could get Jacobian on it as well and have tapes in coconuts and...
Yes. I'll trade
I
you.
think Cooper could put his tapes in as well, and it could just be a big, giant, sexciting tape exchange.
Yeah, I'll trade you the shoe salesman tape for the lore tape.
It's like trading cards.
Trading cards.
Get them all.
What's next?
Oh, this is it. It's Cooper going through the diary.
He's doing work.
He is.
Putting
Well, I think he
pieces
likes
together.
reading Laura's diaries.
Yeah.
And he likes his puzzles, so putting the pages back together is right up his alley.
That's true.
Laura has been, since early adolescence, has been molested and abused regularly by Bob,
Yeah.
who she says is a friend of her father's. There's so much creepiness with that.
Yes.
Because there's two possibilities here, and I know you can't tell me if I'm correct or not, but possibility A is that, of course, Leland has been molesting and abusing his daughter, as Bob for a long time, which I think is the clear go-to. But what if there is a friend that, like, Bob was, like, possessed with before?
And he just recently possessed Leland?
Right. Because this goes into my one of my wacky theories of all of this, is that maybe, because I'm still obsessed with the person that Bobby killed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if Bob wasn't always in Leland, I'm thinking whoever Bobby killed was possessed with Bob, and that's why Bobby ended up killing the guy, because Laura talked him into it. But then he went on to possess her father, which makes it 1,000 times creepier that her abuser and molester was then her father. Of course, it's also super creepy that her father is abusing and molesting her.
Yes.
And would explain why she is so incredibly messed up. But the question is, does she connect Bob to being her father? Because she says it's a friend.
Yeah.
So does she even see her father at all in that? Is there any recognition?
What do you think, Caitlin?
I was kind of thinking along the same lines, except later on when we find out, like, you know, that Bob was possessing Ben and then Leland, that,
What?
well, Laura...
We found out Bob was possessing Ben?
Well, that's what I think. Okay, that's my opinion.
Oh, you didn't let us in on your theory.
Anyways, no, I think that to some degree there has to be sort of an allowance of the person who's being possessed. And so I think Leland was perfectly in control of Hull's mental faculties before, and that I don't think that he would have been possessed by Bob, and it might have been someone else, an actual family friend. Bob was there all along, but Leland had no idea, I think, at that point, and that he wasn't vulnerable enough until Laura died to be possessed by Bob.
All right, so you're going with Brad's theory number 2?
I guess so, yeah.
Either one's super creepy.
Yes.
Should probably mention too, like, remember when Leland said that he knew Bob, you know?
Yeah.
He's known Bob since he was a kid.
Right.
But not since he was a kid. Well, that's what it seemed to imply to me, that he saw him when he was a kid, but he
hasn't seen him for a while.
Yeah, but he hasn't seen him in a long time, yeah.
So the connection to being a friend of, you know, Leland's, that's what's weirding me out. Unless it's, you know, Bob just saying, I'm a friend of your father's.
So, Brad, knowing that you love Bob so much, what do you think of this whole thing?
Just great. I love Leland, and I love Bob, and now they're like besties tied up in the same body.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll get to that later. We'll let you spew your love for Bob later. So Audrey comes in and clues Coop in on Ben.
And Laura.
Yay.
Brought the information to the cops.
She gets information and she goes to Cooper, and then she demands action.
Yes.
Which
She's
is
like,
much,
arrest my dad.
Which is much more than you could ask for Donna and James.
Yeah.
Then we go over to Ben, and
Did you guys see the photo of Audrey on Ben's desk?
I did. It looked like... Go ahead.
It's like the pose of her when she was... You know when Leland was doing his little crazy shuffle dance?
Yeah.
And she was leaning against the pillar.
Crying, yeah.
It looked like that. And I was like, that's a strange photo to have of your daughter on your desk.
Apparently he snapped a shot of her crying behind a pillar looking at Leland dancing and framed it.
Well, that's my girl.
Put it on his desk facing away from him.
Yes. And Laura's facing.
Weird.
But Tojimura and Ben conclude their deal, and we get thumbs up number 12 from Ben of all people.
Can I go back for just a second?
Sure.
I have to give Cooper applause for the first time ever.
Okay.
Because Cooper did something that I completely approve of. He talks about that Gerard was pointing when Ben walked in.
Yeah.
But you know what? He didn't follow through on that until he had an actual reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was still expected Cooper just to be like, oh, well, he's pointing. Let's arrest him and take him in for questioning. No, he waited until he had a reason to. Good job.
Yes.
He deserves a slow clap for that.
Really?
All right. Good
I
job.
really like the lighting. I just want to say, I noticed like weird lighting things all the time in the show, and I like the lighting in this scene where you have those two little blue dots of light reflecting in Ben's glasses.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Make him look
that's true.
slightly demonic. And
Yeah.
then later you have two, I think it's white lights in Tojimura's glasses. And it's just quite a cool effect.
I wonder if that's intentional. Because they would have to look in a very specific direction to get those right over their eyes.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cool.
Tojimura has people in Osaka. So apparently,
I hate Tojimura. Oh.
Catherine has people in Osaka.
It's a complicated scheme she's rolling.
Yes.
Yes, it's not a spur of the moment kind of thing.
No, it's been planning this a while. All right, so the cops come in
Andy is pretty badass in this scene.
because he's not talking.
But he doesn't talk in the entire episode.
Yeah,
I
we
noticed
don't even
that.
see him
He doesn't say a
see.
single thing. But he helps Hawk, drag Ben off. That's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I love Ben's freak out.
yeah, it was the greatest.
So great.
He will not go quietly.
He just will not
to me,
go.
that seems very uncharacteristic for Ben.
Really?
I would think that he'd be weighing his options and just keeping on their good side, and just trying to think of what to do next and not freaking out here.
But I think he knows he has nowhere to go. They got him. I don't think we've seen him in this kind of situation before.
He might be
Yeah.
distracted as well because he's just found out, that it was Audrey and One-Eyed Jack.
Mm.
And so he's got a lot on his mind.
But when he tries to escape, who stops him?
Huh.
Right.
Oh.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just like how he's like. They're like, you're under arrest. He's like, no, go away.
I say no.
Yeah. Completely thinks he's got a hold of this situation.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so great about it, though. It's like he's never not had an out. He's never had no escape plan, and he's trying to do it through sheer force of will. Which is awesome.
I will create one. Want to move on to Sarah and climbing down the stairs?
It reminds me of The Grudge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was in that, so in the American remake, so
Was she?
yeah, I'm sure she was.
Don't you own that?
I own it, but I hadn't seen Twin Peaks at the time I watched The Grudge the first time.
I think
so-
she's the sort of crazy old woman in it.
Oh, well, that's what she does best.
Yeah.
But that record spinning sound is pretty creepy, huh?
Now, my question is because I thought at first, is she has she been attacked or injured, or is she just having a psychotic, crazy house freak out?
Yeah, that's what I wonder too.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's probably like a psychic brain attack.
I think it's like half and half. I think that Laura, Maddie, and Sarah can actually see Bob for who he is whenever he's in the person. They don't actually see, say, Leland or whatever. They'll see Bob.
Mhm.
And I think she's running away from him.
But he was already downstairs, I think. So she would have been coming down towards him.
Was he, though? Because you don't see him. He just kind of appears there by the mirror.
Yeah.
You don't know when he entered.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I did get very confused by I got really confused by the geography of the house watching this episode a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, they show you some new angles. At the sheriff's office, the log lady is there, and there are owls in the roadhouse.
From the log lady. This is information from.
Didn't I just say that?
Did you?
I think I said it.
Okay. Okay.
She's a lot softer in this scene than she's been in the other ones, the other scenes so far. In the way she speaks and her delivery, because we've really just seen her be sort of crazy, person so far.
Yeah.
Because she's being intimidated and bullied by these owl spirit things.
So then we go, and Tojimura is stalking the shadows.
I love this.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
That's the strangest home invasion ever.
He's drinking milk again.
He's drinking milk again?
He
Yeah,
likes his milk. Yeah.
does. Yeah, just imagine just some big Japanese guy just pops out of the shadows and plants one on.
You know, Matt, I think if ever we go to the Twin Peaks Fest, I think you should go as Pete with the real, like, the high socks, and that I should go as Ojibura.
Yes!
Wonder if anyone's ever done that.
We totally need to do it. Nobody steal our idea.
Oh yeah, it's out there now.
It is a weird entrance. I don't even know why. Why would you do that?
She's just playing with them.
Your husband's been grieving for your death.
He doesn't seem to care though when he finds out it's her. He doesn't seem to care the way she
Well,
feels.
sure. There's huge relief, but still, like on her part, that is a weird thing to do.
It's so hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys were right. It is Catherine.
Yay.
Good detective work, guys.
Somebody will have to give. Somebody will give you an award.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
All the credit.
I've been waiting for my video.
Yes. Yeah, Michael Warren posts video rewards clips from the show.
I got one the other day. Yay!
Yes. You shouldn't get one. You already know everything that's going to happen.
True.
Oh, so how long is she gonna have to keep up the Tachimura disguise? And how weird are these scenes gonna be with her and Pete in public?
Yeah.
It's gonna get progressively weirder and weirder. I don't know.
So then we move on back to the Palmers, and we see a white horse. What does that mean?
That's the reference in the Log Lady intro.
Mm-hmm.
She mentions a pale horse.
Yeah, but that originally didn't air with the show, so...
No.
So what does the horse mean within the show? Like, I still don't know. I've seen the thing, and I don't know.
I feel like a white horse is generally, I think, a symbolic of, I don't know, I think it's a good thing to see a white horse.
It's a symbol of purity.
No. Remember, that was a unicorn was a symbol of purity. I checked, there was no horn.
But I think there's a reason that Pegasus and unicorn are usually white. Is that they're good, and I don't know. I think they're good omens, which is
I think
maybe
there's
it's
a lot
protecting
of
her.
Maybe.
I think there's a lot of theories as to the horse that I've heard, but yeah, I've always thought that it's like a pale horse, like is that there's going to be a death.
Oh.
Because it's like a pale horse and a pale rider.
Oh yeah.
Which is a biblical reference, but I don't know whereabouts in the Bible it is. But talking about death, riding a pale horse.
Yeah.
Okay, well that works better.
Anyways, I personally think that the horse acts as a sedative upon Sarah.
It knocks her out?
Yeah. Because she just goes out cold after seeing it. She's like, oh.
She's like, this is just too weird.
There's a horse in my living room.
Oh no.
Damn you, Mr. Ed.
That's where the Simpsons reference comes from, by the way, for anybody that cares about the Simpsons.
There's two Twin Peaks parody things in the Simpsons. We mentioned one with the red room before.
There's an episode where Homer's watching TV and you see the giant and the horse dancing together, and they're outside in a field close to a forest, and there's a traffic light hanging, and they're just dancing.
And there's jazz music.
There's jazz music going on, and then Homer says, "Brilliant! I have absolutely no idea what's going on."
Nice.
Yeah. Which is pretty much the show.
That's just how we feel sometimes.
I like that the horse does a little sort of huff and blink before he disappears. Or she. Or he or she disappears.
Okay, then we go to the Roadhouse. Julie Cruz is back.
Yay!
This feels a lot like the pilot, this whole scene. What do you guys think of Julie Cruz?
I love her.
I love her voice.
This episode is my second favourite song moment from the entire series.
Really? Have we seen your first already?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the songs are really good. They're composed by Angelo Badalamenti and with lyrics by David Lynch. Those two did basically all of Julie Cruz's songs for a while, and she sang them. I think they had a falling out later, but they're friends again now. I
have signed sheet music of "Rocking Back Inside My Heart," which is the first song she sings signed by Julie Cruz.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Because it's my favourite song by her.
Yeah, I like that song too.
What do you?
And the lyrics are really cool as well, because once you've seen the end of the episode, they kind of mirror what happens in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think, Caitlin and Brad, of Julie Cruz, or just this scene?
I enjoyed the song. I thought it worked really well with the scene, so it's fun.
Yeah, I agree. I find it interesting how they, when they integrate her into a part of an episode, how like central she is to what's going on.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time on her, like a lot of shots of her giant mouth. I'm sorry.
Matt, I think you find her disturbing.
Well, I don't know. She has a look to her, but her voice is beautiful.
Didn't you say that she looked like Seinfeld's sister or something?
Yes.
I think
Someone say that?
I think
said
Mel
that.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she
I
could
find
be-
she does look like a little bit like Jerry Seinfeld, where she could be related to him. I think when she keeps her mouth closed, she looks good. You don't want to be mean. I'm very. I'm
I
sorry.
love it.
I'm very sorry.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Teen Angst Super Squad.
All right.
Yeah.
They've done it again.
They talk about Harold. It's not anybody's fault. That made me laugh.
I love they go from Donna being kind of a little bit upset about killing Harold to like lip syncing a love song in like less than a minute.
Yeah.
It's as soon as she finds out that, they've mentioned that Maddie's left. And then she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to make my moves on James again. I'm going to give him the goo-goo eyes.
Well, we've got both of them done with.
Yeah.
I noticed this entire scene, Coop. He's not really paying attention to the song. His eyes are just darting everywhere, all over the room. He's like trying
his
to.
head at one point, like, yeah. Like,
But he's just looking everywhere. He's like, "Where are these owls? Where are these owls?"
I love the log lady. I'm like devouring those peanuts.
I know. She was loving those peanuts.
James also has a big mess in front of him.
I know. Although we don't love him as much as the log lady.
nope. Oh, James.
Oh, James.
I have to say, though, at least Donna does recognise that she violated Harold's life.
Yeah. But then James is like, "Oh, it's okay. It wasn't your fault."
James is James.
He's just trying to make her feel better, though.
Yeah. You don't want to say. You don't want to tell someone, "Yeah, it's your fault." He's.
Yeah.
His response seems really self-centered to me. My thoughts were, have a heart, James, have a heart.
He doesn't feel bad about putting Jacoby in the hospital either.
No.
He doesn't care.
That wasn't our fault either.
They leave a trail of destruction.
Yeah. Like Nadine. Then the giant shows up. It is happening again. What were you guys thinking at that point when he said it is happening again? I guess Brad had already read the description. So what did you predict what was about to happen?
No.
I figured Bob was about to do something crazy, but I didn't really think that it would be Madeline right away.
Oh, okay.
Did you think it would be Sarah?
I thought it would be I thought it was a possibility, but I just knew Bob was going to get up to some crazy antics.
Oh, him.
I bet you were clapping your
Bob.
hands in joy.
Yes.
Right, so then we switch over and Leland's doing his tie, and then boom, it's Bob in the mirror. And then Brad squeed like a girl.
That I did.
He did.
I have I really want to say something about this scene. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
There's one shot where I know previously in my feedback for the last episode I mentioned I love the bit where Gerard looks up and he says when he's saying about the gifted and the damned and he looks at the audience.
Yep.
And there's a little bit here which I'm just bringing up on my TV where Leland turns around when he hears Maddie's voice and he looks at the audience and he sort of breaks the fourth wall and he's looking at Maddie but he's looking at the audience as well. And I really think that one shot was kind of put in as almost a nod from David Lynch because there was so much pressure to reveal who the killer was. And it's almost David Lynch reaching out to the audience and saying, okay, you guys wanted to know where the killer is? Well, here we go, and I'm going to make it as brutal as possible. And acknowledging that this is what the audience wants to see. And it reminded me of there's a bit in the movie Funny Games by Michael Haneke. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
No.
Which I actually rewatched the other night because this reminded me of it, where one of the characters does the same thing. He breaks the fourth wall and looks at the audience just to acknowledge that, they're doing exactly what the audience wants to see. They want to see murder and mayhem and stuff, and making the audience aware that this is what we've asked to see. So I just think it's a really cool little moment.
Yes. Yeah, he pretty much outstretches his hands and comes right at the camera at one point.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that, like, that hand motion and that lurch.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like it's a kid playing like he's a monster.
Yeah.
It's like, "Urgh, I'm gonna get ya.
Yeah. But he puts on some gloves first. Don't want to leave any fingerprints.
Unlike Harry.
Yeah. And Maddie smells a burning smell. What do you think that smell is?
Hell.
Hell? Could be.
Maybe he's just burning some nice essential oils, you know,
Yes.
set the mood.
You have any idea what the burning smell is, Caitlin?
I
kinda-
kind of thought if the record had been stuck on repeat for a very, very long time, maybe it was a little friction was causing a bit of heat, and that's what she smelled.
The smell's kind of significant. It ties in with other things. But
Doesn't Jacoby says something about when he gets knocked out. He's talking about the smell, isn't he? About something. What was that?
scorched engine oil.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. That's probably that's my idea of what she was probably smelling, but
Mm.
there's no confirmation on that. That's just what I think it is.
Which, if that's the case, that makes me think that maybe Bob was kind of in control when Leland killed Jacques, which I don't think that works.
Yeah, Bob wouldn't have any reason to kill
Yeah.
Doc.
Maybe
Unless he doesn't want to be found out.
Well, did Jacques know
Or-
something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
maybe Jacoby just smelled residual Bob on Leland. It's leftover.
Yeah. All right. So then we get.
They should release that as a fragrance called Bob.
It's just literally scorched engine oil.
Just dab it behind your ear.
Bob, all caps. So then we get the really long, drawn-out slow-mo attack
Ooh.
with punches and
Really disturbing.
make.
So horrible.
Let's hear some thoughts from Brad and Caitlin on this.
I thought that scene was really disturbing.
Yeah,
Yes, it made me cringe. It was hard to watch.
yeah. Pretty surprised it was on television in the early '90s.
I don't know.
You don't think it's so bad that they couldn't?
No.
It wouldn't.
No, yeah, I don't think so.
It is pretty horrific, but I've seen worse.
It is creepy and brutal, though. Ooh.
Yes, yeah.
It's the way he taunts her. He's playing with her. You know,
Yeah.
it's
And
just horrible, and it's so drawn out as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the slow mo really draws it out. Yes.
Especially when Leland's calling for Laura.
Mm.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
And he's dancing with Maddie like he did with the photo frame of Laura in the earlier episode. You know, he was spinning and he was holding the photo frame and calling Laura's name, which I thought was quite a nice little nod back to that.
Yeah. So what do you think's happening inside his head there? Is it all Bob? Is Bob calling out for Laura, or is Leland calling out for Laura?
I
feel
think
like
they're
Leland
both in
is-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Leland is so broken at this point. I don't even think he has. I wonder, like, if he has any clue of anything. Like, I'm really interested to see what happens to Leland after this. Because if he was messed up before, this has gotta. Because I feel like even if he doesn't realize, if he has some kind of mental block where he doesn't know what Bob's doing, it's still somewhere in his mind, and that's what's driving him crazy.
I have to say as well, Leland is one of my favourite characters, and Ray Wise just does an amazing job
Yes.
in the series. And I haven't wanted to. I've mentioned it once before in feedback. I haven't wanted to bring too much attention to it, just in case you kind of start thinking, you know. But he's so good in this series.
So he puts the letter under the fingernail after he's done with her.
Oof.
Does that make anyone cringe?
Yes. I don't know why. That's just one of the grossest things ever. Shoving it into the fingernail.
And so anything else there? Or do we go back to the bar? I feel like we should talk about this scene more.
when he finishes her off and he smashes her head in the painting where the nice family scene opened. You know, when they opened the painting, well, he finishes it by smashing her face in that same painting.
Yeah.
That was from Missoula, Montana.
Yeah.
And he says you're going back to Missoula, Montana,
Yeah.
and that's what's written on it.
Yeah.
And I like that you can, again, you can see the photo of Laura, like, pretty much through most of the scene, which is quite cool, because then obviously reminds you that this is possibly what happened to her as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how, like, what kind of injury he gave her when she was on the couch and he punched her twice in the face and then she's having trouble breathing. Did he, like, crush her nose or what?
Punch her in the throat.
Yeah, he maybe punched her in the throat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah. So
And also the fact that Sarah is presumably still lying on the floor somewhere throughout all of this is really disturbing.
Mm.
yeah, he's gonna have to clean up a lot of blood before she wakes up.
when Maddie saw the blood on the floor earlier, was she seeing like a premonition of her own blood?
Quite possibly, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought anyway.
Yeah, that's that spot on the carpet's around the same spot where the horse shows up, I think.
Yeah, just a quick question. I was going to say, do you guys, because obviously there was a lot of people saying about how much they loved this episode. So after now you've seen it, Brad and Caitlin, what are your thoughts on that? Did you suspect that it was because this would happen in it and this would be revealed?
Well, Brad read it on the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had a feeling that something big was going to go down, but
It very much gave off that feeling at the beginning of the episode. Like you could tell that was really building up to something here.
Yeah.
Plus, everybody on Facebook was talking about, can't wait till people watch this episode.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my favourites. I think it's...
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, here's.
Sorry, Illyrio.
Well, here's something else Michael Warren wrote on his 35 Years of David Lynch blog. It says, witnessing the clamor of millions of viewers wanting the answer to who killed Laura Palmer, the network sought to appease them and pressured Lynch and co-creator Mark Frost into revealing the killer's identity. In the network's attempt to keep frustrated viewers from dropping the show, it ironically turned them away in droves at the zenith of Peak's popularity. So after this, like after they revealed this show really dropped off in ratings. Because they're like, oh, the mystery's gone.
Or maybe they were so disturbed that they just
I hate people.
I hate networks.
I hate stupid audiences that think they want things.
Yeah.
I hate audiences that think they should be able to dictate to the show what the show does.
Yeah.
I would like to think that they were so disturbed that they stopped watching, but I don't know if that's the case.
That's probably not the case.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people did stop watching it because of supernatural elements and disturbing elements, but once they dropped this bomb, then yeah, a lot of other people left too. Some of my favorite episodes are still to come. So
Nice.
And some of also our least favorite episodes.
Agreed.
After they wrap up the whole Laura thing, they weren't planning to reveal this so soon. Like they said they might never have revealed it until the last possible moment. But so they weren't planning for that, and then they had to, rewrite everything and do the quality of the show takes a big dip. I'm just warning you, in a little bit, and it comes back. It comes back in a big way, but it's gonna be.
I love the prep. Like we're gonna jump ship. Oh fuck! I'm not watching anymore.
Terrified.
I'm really
that
terrified.
You guys will just be like, I quit.
After the next couple episodes, like after that, it's gonna be a struggle for quite a few weeks. I'm sorry.
there are a lot of people I know that have said that you can. There's a good sort of 6 episodes that when they rewatch the series, they do skip them. And if I rewatch the series, I don't skip any of them. And even though sometimes it is a slog, I feel that you have to, because it does build up towards the end of the series.
You would miss some things.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, okay.
And there is some really cool stuff in there as well.
There is, for sure. But
we'll have fun talking about it.
Yes, we will, for sure.
All right. So,
I have a question though for Brad, because of the scene that we were just talking about. So Maddie's dead now, and Bob killed her. How much did you like that scene? Because I know that you don't like Maddie, and I know you love Bob.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Are you happy now, Brad?
See, I can just imagine Brad fist pumping the air, when he slams her into that mirror. He's like, yeah! Good boy!
I mean, I was pretty happy when I thought she was leaving town. But I didn't think it would happen. But now I know she's gone.
You didn't think she'd be
leaving in a death bag.
Unfortunately, you can't get back to Missoula, Montana through a painting of Missoula, Montana.
You could if it was Zoobly Zoo World.
So let's finish this out and go back to the bar.
Why is everyone crying in the bar?
I think they know that Maddie's dead.
So does Donna have special psychic powers now?
No, maybe it was Maddie's spirit saying goodbye.
And Bobby was also, like, he looked a little bit teary-eyed. I didn't get that. I'm like, why is...
I think it has to do with their connection to Laura. Somehow.
And
I like that there's a few people that seem aware that something's happened. So Cooper, the log lady, Donna, and Bobby. James and Harry are as oblivious as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two most oblivious characters in the show.
And the thing about it is, like, I hope that this doesn't mean Donna is going to become too integral to the overall plot. But Donna has gained the most from these deaths.
Because she's got James.
Yeah.
And he's the ultimate prize.
It's not a great prize, but it's the one she wants.
Yeah.
Man, she's got terrible taste.
Low standard.
What do you think of the waiter? The waiter shows up again.
Yeah.
And
so is the giant somehow possessing the waiter, but he can jump out? Is that what I'm to take from this?
I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
They seem
I
to be
think they
dressed
both
the
have
same.
bow ties.
Yeah.
They do dress similar, and they show up at the same time, but...
Yeah. I feel like they're definitely connected.
Maybe. The waiter, he's been around so long, he's a pretty old guy. He's probably pretty in tune with what's going on, and being around, I guess, being by the forest, maybe he's, like, can feel things a bit better.
Yeah.
But the giant, I think he is a distraction, and that he's actually evil and is distracting Cooper from being where he needed to be to save Maddie.
Yeah, I was gonna...
Exactly.
I was gonna say, yeah, that if the log lady, if her premonition or whatever had been better, she could have led them to the Palmers instead of to the bar. She's like, there's owls in the roadhouse, but
and that's just it. I feel like this thieving, filthy giant. He's manipulating things because if they hadn't brought Cooper there, obviously the next place they would have gone would be the Palmers, because the diary says something about Laura being abused and molested by a friend of her father's. Clearly, I mean, they go and check on Ben, but the next person to talk to would definitely be Leland.
Yeah, agreed. When I watched this episode a while back with a friend of mine, and the waiter came up to Cooper and said, "I'm so sorry," my friend was like, "Is he apologising for not getting Cooper medical help earlier in the season?"
maybe.
I was like, actually, maybe. He's not that with it. Maybe he was having like a lucid moment. Was like, oh yeah, I left that guy to basically die on the floor. I'm sorry.
Wasn't it suggested that the log lady could see the giant too?
Yeah. Her face kind of looked like she was seeing what was happening. The spotlight was on Cooper, but
If you look on her.
If you look at her, she's like looking intently or whatever. But it seems like maybe she can see the giant.
And there's the other song by Julie Cruz in the episode as well, which is World Spins, which is a beautiful song as well.
Yeah. And did you notice Cooper checking his ring finger?
Yeah, he like feels around.
When the giant showed up, he's like, "Oh, did he give my ring back?" No.
Yeah.
And that's just it. This giant has gone out of his way to buy Cooper's trust by giving him useless information. Again, that pointing, the guy he points without chemicals is useless information. He's given him nothing but a reason to trust him, and then he lures him away from what he should be doing.
Okay, so giant.
Do not trust it. Do not trust a thieving giant.
All right. Okay, so we done with the episode then?
Oh wait, gotta point out one other thing. The giant standing up there with the microphone, I just think it looks like I feel like he's like at an open mic comedy night and he's doing the work. Just that shot.
Yeah.
This thing on. Again. That's my time.
We get the song. We get the song play over the end credits as well, which is unusual.
Yeah, we don't see Laura Palmer's face.
And we have Cooper's pretty face.
Oh.
You in love with
Oh.
Cooper? Do you think Kyle MacLachlan has aged well?
No.
That's
And
sad.
how he looks, but in his choices of roles, I'm not really a fan of a lot of the stuff he's done later.
Sex in the City.
No. Although he did Showgirls, yay!
Really?
Mommy, what is Agent Cooper and Jesse Spano doing in that swimming pool?
Oh no.
What's happening?
Best drinking game movie ever.
It is.
Let's do our ratings. What would you give it, Claire?
I absolutely adore this episode. It will have to lose a point though because there is no Dick Tremaine, and he's my boy and I love him. But it would gain a bazillion points for just how amazing it is. So out of 10, I will give it 10 one-way trips to Missoula, Montana. Out of 10.
Nice.
You want to do one, Mel?
Well, I don't know if I should say what I wanted to. Well, remember you wanted me to say that thing.
It's mean.
It's mean. Should I say it?
Whatever.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, I was gonna give this episode 11 ravenously delicious peanuts out of 10, but I decided to deduct a point from this episode because of Julie Cruz's face.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Julie Cruz. I still love you.
Ouch. She's gonna stop listening to the show now.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not listening to you guys anymore. She probably stopped anyways when we said that she looked like Jerry Seinfeld.
You, not we.
Yeah.
That's all on you, Mel.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's just her mouth.
Brad or Caitlin?
I'm gonna give this a 10 emergency sandwiches out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, it was such an intense episode, and if an episode makes me cringe and squirm in my seat, then it gets full ratings.
Awesome. All right, Brad.
I think I will have to go 10 out of 10 Bob Smashes.
Sounds like a wrestling move.
Bob Smash! Yeah, it's good times. It's good times overall. I had a fun time.
I'll do an obvious rating because I couldn't think of a clever one. I'll do 10 out of 10 new shoes. Yeah, this is a really good episode. Not my favorite, but I think I like the season 2 premiere episode a little bit better. But this one's still excellent, and my favorite episode is yet to come.
Yeah.
Okay, so who wants to do a quote?
We can't ask this week who killed Laura Palmer.
Yeah, we can.
We can.
He never
There's
admitted
still
it.
Yeah, there's still a choice.
Who killed Laura Palmer?
You guys don't get away with it.
The Giant.
The Minor Bird.
The sandwich.
Cholesterol.
Cholesterol killed Laura Palmer.
This
It's a
guy.
silent killer.
I'm gonna do my quote. It's gonna be loud.
Yay.
He's backing away from the mic.
Oh
Everybody.
no.
Oh.
New shoes.
Yay. I have one.
Okay.
Oh, Eddie, I'm so happy I could just kiss you to death.
Oh, so scary.
I love the way that scene was shot as well. You just see Ed's face, her bloody hand, and then her face.
I love Ed's terrified face.
Yeah, being crushed.
I got one. This is our dear friend, scholarly Mike. I hope he gets permanently fixated.
That was on my list.
That's a good one. I have one. Since the moment we met, I've been strangely attracted to you. There's something about your eyes, so warm and deep, and blue as the sky.
I also like that. Catherine, you look terrible. Just terrible.
It's me, dummy.
I loved hearing her voice again. I missed her voice.
Yeah, I know. She's so uppity.
Anyone else got runners up?
I got a quote.
Okay.
Go away. Get out of here. I'm gonna go out for a sandwich. No.
I like the one that James says, but it's mainly the little pout afterwards where he's like, everybody's hurt inside. Pout. Oh, James, you emo.
We all out of quotes?
Leyland says, you're going back to Missoula, Montana!
Nice.
The best quote.
That was an excellent quote.
Did anyone throw out, it's a good thing Andy didn't see this?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so let's get to feedback. First of all, Scott Schneider, I think it is, has been posting Twin Peaks Fest videos on our Facebook group if anyone wants to see them. There's one of the costume contests from this year. And Eben Moore, past guest, does a really good Bobby.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yes. Oh, and also wanted to mention that this little format that we have, that we stole from the Potential Cast, is being picked up by a lot of people. And I guess the format has got an official name now, and it's Introcasts. So we are an Introcast. So there's the Potential Cast, the Twin Peaks podcast, Fisher Cast, which is a 6 Feet Under podcast, Moose Cast, the Northern Exposure, Bluth Cast is the Arrested Development, and there's Psychanalysis, I think it's called, is a one for the show Psych. So that's all of them right now, but there are more to come possibly. It's catching on. I think it's a good format. This thing with first-time viewers, it's really interesting when you've seen the show and you listen to somebody experiencing it for the first time.
Definitely.
Alright, so let's get into feedback proper.
I'm just going to have some pie quickly then.
Okay.
It's sitting next to me getting cold. I've eaten like literally 3/4 of a pie.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I'm so jealous.
Love it.
But does it have an owl on it?
No, it's not as cool as your pie, Brad.
Is it actually a cherry pie, Brad? That you made?
What was that?
It's an owl meat pie.
Oh, it was an owl meat pie.
Yeah, it's fresh owl. I hunted it myself.
Nice.
Did you go out with your bow and arrow and...
Did you throw a knife at it, hawk style?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's how I did it.
You just lopped its head right off.
Do you want to read John's, Claire?
Yes, I don't mind.
The very first one.
Okay, so this is from John. Well, we've been waiting for this episode since the beginning. You'll probably have the most feedback for this episode, but because I love it so, it's difficult to be brief. My story. Between the ages of 11 and 14, I read almost every Agatha Christie murder mystery novel. I became very adept at solving them. When I heard that ABC was going to air a new murder mystery show, I was hooked before the pilot aired. For the first 3 episodes, I suspected Big Ed. If only because I'd seen the actor play an evil werewolf in the movie Silver Bullet.
Oh, that was him?
I'm renting that now.
Nice.
I've seen that movie.
Excellent.
It was a while ago.
It wasn't like an Agatha Christie novel with alibis and motives, but I was determined to solve it. The big clues. Log Lady said she heard a third man pass by her cabin, so the killer couldn't be a woman. They didn't show the person who attacked Dr. Jacoby, yet it was obviously Leland since he saw Maddie sneak out of the house. But the big clue for me was in Cooper's dream. Bob says, "You may think I've gone insane, but I promise I will kill again." There was only one person who fit that description. Over the summer between the first and second seasons, The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer came out, and it further flashed a big neon sign saying Leland was the killer. Note, Bob is spelled with all caps in Laura's Secret Diary and all official press materials too. I watched this episode with my older sister in a dark room. She squealed the whole time from fear. As opposed to joy like Brad.
Exactly.
Best episode of the series, that's saying something, but there's plenty of fun with squirrely peasant Bob still to come. Glad to hear, Brad. I give it 10 out of 10 rubber bouncy balls.
Nice.
That was from John. Thanks, John. Who wants to read the next one from Laura?
I can read it.
Okay.
Stumbled across you in iTunes and subscribed to the podcasts. I just listened to the first one and I must say I really enjoyed it. My commutes to work will be much less boring now that I have some good entertainment to pass the time. Thank you. Twin Peaks came on the air when I was 14 or so, but I didn't watch it then and only just started it on Netflix streaming, ironically around the time you started your podcasts. I just finished it a few days ago. There must be something in the air. A friend of mine started watching it recently too, so I sent him the info about your podcast. I clicked to join your group on Facebook. I love this idea. Of course, now I am also off to go subscribe to the Buffy podcast you mentioned. Yay! You guys are fantastic. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Laura.
Awesome.
Thanks, Laura.
So, from Christian Wolf Nielsen. For the next podcast, don't read until you've watched the episode. What emotions did you have while watching this episode? Do you have a different view now of Bob and what he represents?
He represents awesome. All my hopes and dreams.
I think it was pretty clear from the beginning that he represented something evil. It was never a good thing.
Yeah, no, I think before this episode, we got a pretty clear idea of what Bob was, and
Yeah.
there's nothing new, per se, about what he was in this episode.
Why was Laura Palmer killed, and why do you think she had all these problems in her life with drugs, etc.? I think we sort of
We covered those possibilities.
covered that, yeah.
Brad had some theories.
Yeah, that's well. I mean, abuse and molestation from anyone is gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
But if it's your father or tangentially your father being possessed by an evil super creep, I think that'll put you over the edge.
How come the old waiter seemed to know what had happened? Or did he?
Yeah. He was just apologizing for earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the white horse?
What was the white horse, which is also mentioned in the Log Lady intro, all about?
We still have no idea. We have some theories.
I think it's also mentioned in the prequel movie, apparently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the white horse is in the prequel movie.
Yeah, and I forget. I don't really remember because I haven't seen the prequel. I saw the prequel movie last year, but I kind of
we've only watched
forgot
it once.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows up, I think, in the movie.
Yeah. How do you see the show proceed from here? Any new theories on what will happen and how it will all end?
Less singing and dancing?
No!
I'm pretty sure there's some singing and dancing in the next episode.
Yes!
I think. Or the one after that.
Spoilers.
More Dick Tremaine.
Yeah.
Yay. I want Lucy back. Lucy and Andy need to get back in the show.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice in this episode that the donut offering was a bit rubbish? There was only 12. And I was like, because Lucy's not there to organise the donuts.
Oh, man.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
Budget cutbacks.
Yeah. Keep up the great work, guys. Showing a Cooper thumbs up. And then he says, one more question, which I will write backwards to make it harder for you to read in case you haven't watched the episode yet. And then I'm going to read it backwards. Why was Madeline killed?
That's not too hard.
No, it's not.
Yeah, why do you think he killed her? Just got the urge?
Bob's like to kill.
Yeah.
I mean, if she was going to go back to Missoula, Montana, then I guess this was his last chance to kill her. He had such a great time killing Laura. Why not do it again with the other Laura?
Yeah. He's eager for fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he did wear a big smile right before he killed her.
Yeah.
Everybody run. Thanks, Christian.
Yes, thank you.
We have one left. Do you want to read it, Brad, or should I?
All right. So I have which one is this?
Scott Schneider.
Scott Schneider. Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone has to say about this episode. It's an honor to come back from Twin Peaks and rewatch this episode with a fourth set of eyes. So we have our trifecta of creepiness. Audrey reveals to her father that she was the girl he was trying to have sex with. I think some things are better off left unsaid, sweetheart. Ben Horn admits that he slept with Laura, and Ben continues to stare at Laura's photo, which is featured prominently on his work desk, while his own daughter is on the edge of the desk. I'd like to buy Awkward for $200, Pat. Also, Nadine asks if Norma is mad at Ed taking her out. Awkward Part 2. Nadine looks at the blood coming off of her hand with that Crispin Glover Back to the Future I knocked Biff Tannen face. Yes. Back at the Palmer household, Leland looks in the mirror and sees Bob. He puts on his latex glove and we're off to the races. I didn't watch this show in its prime, but I wonder if there was a disclaimer for the level of violence for this particular episode.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Dunno.
really,
Watch out, guys! It's super violent.
when you think of it, though, it's violent, but it's not like he's like stabbing
It's
her
more
or shooting
disturbing
her.
than
It's more
violent.
disturbing violence. Yeah.
They don't actually show him hitting her a lot of the time. You just see like the fist going, but
Yeah, I think that maybe what's the scariest part is that you don't really see. You see it, but you don't. You know.
I still think the season 2 opener was much scarier and creepier overall.
Yeah. With you mean Laura?
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
I think what makes this episode so hair-raising is the slowed-down demon voice approach they went with.
Yeah.
Disturbing to say the least.
Yeah.
The transitions between Leland and Bob through the duration of the kill make it much more horrifying. Is it safe to say, since Maddie had visions of Bob, that she saw Bob as her attacker rather than Leland? I've always been perplexed over this. We will miss you terribly, dear Maddie. Your memory will be immortalized in this podcast. Some will miss, some will not.
Thanks, Scott. Brad will not miss Maddie. I was okay with Maddie.
I liked Maddie.
She was she was better than Donna and James.
It's true.
I just felt like she
Yeah, but
was
who isn't?
Yeah. I feel like she was a budgetary and plot constraint. Nice.
All right, so that is the end. So thanks for coming on, Claire. Finally.
Yay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I finally got to come on. I really enjoyed it, and as mentioned before, you guys are doing an awesome job. I love the podcast.
Thanks for consistently sending feedback.
Yeah, we really.
Amusing feedback at that.
Feedback. No, you're welcome. As mentioned, I love the podcast, and it's anything that makes me watch the series again is good in my book.
So, are you going to UK Twin Peaks Fest soon, or you already?
Yeah, it's I can't remember the date. It's in November, I think.
Okay.
And it's the second one. The first one was last year. It was really good. So going to that one this year, we'll be selling postcards there as well, which is quite exciting and scary. And yeah, I can't wait. And I'm trying to think of a costume now to wear.
Mr. Tochimura.
No, that's the way.
I want to go as Dick Tremaine. I don't think I can pull it off. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think some people who listen to the podcast are going as well, so it'll be fun to meet up with them. And it should be good. I know Kimmy Robertson's going as well, so that'll be fun.
Sweet.
Oh, cool.
I saw in the video that they posted of the US Twin Peaks Fest this year that somebody had a costume of cream corn.
Yes. Yeah, there wasn't that many last year. We had, I think there was a Cooper and a Maddie and Audrey, and that was about it. So hopefully there'll be some more this year. And the Double R Club's performing, and they are awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
I'll be on Fishercast again in a few weeks, I think.
Okay.
For an episode, I can't remember which number though, in a few weeks. And you can find me on Twitter. I'm Mayafire on Twitter, which is MAIAFIRE. And you can find me on Etsy under Mayafire, and buy my Twin Peaks postcards if you would like to.
Yes. She sent us all some. They're really good.
Yes, thank you very much.
yeah.
They're awesome. We
I'm
have
drawing a llama right now.
we have Bob on our fridge right now.
I think we want to give a shout out to Michael Warren, whose awesome article got on the front page of IMDb.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
We got a triple download spike on that day.
And Matt was checking the iPod Touch, and he was like,
On vacation.
yeah, on vacation. He kept checking constantly, and then
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Yeah. I'd like to give. Thanks to Michael Warren for writing that article, but also thanks to the person who suggested that article to the hit list for IMDb. I can't remember the name of the person. Whoever you are, thank you very much.
Indeed.
Do you want to plug your podcast, Brad?
Yes, you guys can catch me on the Ramjack podcast. We have fun. It's a good time. There's a Facebook group. Join it. We have fun shenanigans. Join us.
Caitlin, do you have any podcasts we don't know about?
No, I have no secret podcasts.
Not yet.
Or there's still a secret.
Okay.
We can't have just one.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Next time will be episode 16. Later. Bye.
bye.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook, and visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.
Here's a tune for you guys. Okay. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.